Hi everyone, this is Jumge. So today we are going to discuss on the most important topic, I would say, RTI. As we all know, it stands for Right to Information Act. When we speak about RTI, it is a kind of topic that runs in the lips of many individual, because if anybody tries to do some sort of corruption, then we will say we will find an RTI. So today we are going to discuss this Right to Information Act. If we see Right to Information Act, there may be some sort of question what it is all about and why it is important, right? So if we see Right to Information Act, it is obviously an act which gives you the right to gather some information, okay, as we can see. And why it is important? It is important because if right to information prevails in our state or in our country, then there we can maintain the accountability. We can maintain accountability and transparency of the government, okay? Because we as a citizen of India, where a democratic form of government runs, we citizen elect our own representative. So we have right, okay, we have right to know what our government is doing and what our government, how they are spending our tax that we pay to the government, okay? So it is our responsibility and it is our right to know and our right to gather the information related to all the governmental activities. So this is why it is right to information is important. And if we look back to the history, then in the year 1976, in the case of Raj Narain versus state of Uttar Pradesh, okay, so in that case, the Supreme Court upheld that freedom of speech and expression given under Article 19A cannot be expressed without Right to Information Act, without the right to information. So here the Supreme Court, he holds the view that, and the Supreme Court has passed the verdict that if any individual is denying Right to Information Act, it means that the freedom of speech and expression is seems to have been curtailed. So Right to Information Act is synonyms to the right to freedom of speech and expression. That, and the verdict also pronounced in that way, citizens should have right to information since they are the masters and masters have right to know. Like we have already discussed, it is we, according to the democratic form of government, we as a citizen, we have right to vote, and it is we who we elect our own representative, and our representative run the government. So we as a citizen who cast our valuable mandate in favor of any of the representative, so it is our responsibility to know all the activities that run by the government. And it is we the citizen who pay our taxes to the government. So we have right to know how this all this money is being spent by the government. And like we have said, if we go back to the history and see the evolution that has been taken place, we also have the Freedom of Information Bill, okay? The Freedom of Information Bill, it was passed in the year 2002 uh, by the both house of the parliament that you guys already know, that is Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. And but it is said that due to some weakness in the bill, there is no that a power in the bill. Due to some weakness of the bill, it was not notified. Moreover, it was it couldn't be brought into practice. It was not implemented. The Freedom of Information Bill, it was felt to be adopted, but it was not notified, and moreover it wasn't implemented because some sort of the weakness the bill that pauses, okay? And coming down to the Right to Information Bill, okay, the Right to Information Bill, it was adopted in the year 2005, and which was passed by the you know um, parliament, which was based on the Freedom of Information Bill, which was earlier already enacted, but it was not brought into practice. Now, basing on that, the Freedom of Information Bill, the government come out with the Right to Information Act. So it was implemented in the year 12th October 2005. Yes, the right to information comes under the jurisdiction of union government under residuary powers. And now there will be a like question, the meaning of information, what kind of information it will be all about. So the meaning of the information, that it covers any material in any form, that includes records, documents, or any memo or email. Like we people are inclined more on this electronic side these days. So email and other electronic related document may be procured, and all these elements or materials are comes or covers under the right to information. And right to information, if we say what it means, what it implies, the right to information means right to inspect. We have right to inspect, we have right to ask for the document, and we have the right to gather or obtain the records, and we can get it printed out, all the documents, all the records that we have been sorting for, because we need to see the accountability and transparency of the government. So it can be in form of floppy sticks, etc. And coming down to who will be the like kind of responsible authority who is going to listen to our applications. So we have this public information officer. Okay, we have public information officer. It is the role of the it is the responsibility of the public information officer to provide us all the related document which is being asked by the applicant. Okay, and reason for seeking information are not needed. So there may be some sort of confusion, because you wanted to obtain some document, at the same time you also have to cite the reason. But it is to be make it very clear that you are not entitled, okay, and it is not obligatory and it is not mandatory that you have to cite out the reason why you are asking for the same documents. Okay, you are not compelled, you cannot be compelled to put out the reason why are you asking such. So you can keep it you can keep it you cannot you can keep it by your side. It is not mandatory that you should put out the reason. And you it is not mandatory to give out your personal details, okay, personal information while asking for any document. And you can provide your address, because that address will be delivered as per the specification. And yes, obviously if we have been if we are going to file an RTI, so there will we need to know what will be the duration, when we are going to get, or when we are going to obtain our document that we have been sorting for. That is, when we file an RTI, from the day of the receipt of an application, 30 days is a duration period. Okay, 30 days. From that 30 days, extra 5 days may be added when your application is being transferred to the different authority, looking at the circumstances and looking at the necessary initiatives. And it is also said that failure to provide information within time limit will deem refusal. If any of the public information officer is not furnishing the document which you are claiming, then if there is any some sort of what it is called, if it is not provided in the limited specified duration, then it is deemed to be refusal. Then you can ask, you can go for the justice. Now you see, we people, we have learned what is RTI. RTI means we are entitled for sorting any documents what we are what we wanted for. But at the same time, we need to keep in our mind that there are also some possible ground for rejection. All the information that you are seeking, it cannot be furnished to you, it cannot be obtained by you, because there are certain possible ground for rejection. Okay, and now we are going to see what are the possible ground for rejection, where your application may be rejected because of some possible ground. So here are the rejection of possible ground. You see, any information which which will affect the sovereignty of our country, which will affect our integrity of our country, and which will be a threat or a security concern. Okay, any information which try to affect the sovereignty, integrity, and security of India, and threat to our nation will not be provided. Okay, we need to keep in our mind. And information leading to contempt of court. For an example, if there is a clash between two party, A party and B party, and some sort of this proceeding is going on in the court, and not yet any of the verdict has been passed. So such verdict which is not yet passed by the court may be kept aside or may be kept restrained. Why? Because this may lead to the contempt of the court, and any information which will demean the status of court, which will devalue, undervalue the status of court, that is called the contempt of the court. So any information which will lead to the contempt of the court, that will not be punished by the concerned authority to any applicant. And breach of privilege of parliament and state legislature, and personal information with no relation to any public activity or interest. Because in pursuance of right to information act, we cannot obtain the information, personal details of any individual just because I have some enmity or I have some enmity ground with my any of my friends. So I cannot obtain any personal details which is not that of public activity or interest. And we have information infringe the copyright of any person. Obviously, whenever just an example, there is a movie, so movie has its own copyright, right? Movie has its own copyright, and there are certain terms and conditions laid down. So on that account, we cannot just infringe the copyright. Okay, if anything, any information which will lead to the infringement of copyright of any person or any organization, then that will not be accepted, that will be rejected on some possible rejection ground. And yes, obviously, now switching to the bodies that included from the purview of act, bodies that excluded from the purview of act. You see, there are certain governmental organization which will be kept excluded from the purview of act. Such organizations are Central Intelligence and Security Agencies of India. For an example, which all the central agencies and security agency which is eloquently specified in the second schedule of the Indian Constitution, such as research analysis wings, information bureau, and narcotic bureau, all this thing, etc. An agency is specified by the government as per the requirement of the situations. And this is beside that, we have also some appellate, like we have this state information commissioner, central information commissioner. We have a central information commissioner in the center for the entire country, yeah, and for state commission, state information commission for the state. So if you are not getting your justice, if your information are being deemed to have been refused, so you can knock to the door according to hierarchy of the appellation. For an example, if your information has not been delivered as per the given schedule, then you can knock to the door of public information officer. And again, if public information officer fails, then you can switch to the state information commissioner. So here we ends our right to information act topic. Thank you.